Critical Edition, an autobiography, or the story of my experiments with truth. M.K. Gandhi. Translated from the original in Gujarati by Mahadev Desai. Introduced with notes by Tridip Suhrut. Foreword by Ashish Nandi. Penguin Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. Foreword. A desanctified, usable Gandhi. Ashish Nandi. During the last 2 decades, Tridip Suhrut has emerged as a vital bridge between the late 19th and early 20th century world of Gujarati literature and culture, from within which Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi emerged, and the global fraternity of scholars who find in Gandhi a voice that defies the seductive mix of the Enlightenment values and a utopic urban industrial world to project an altogether different vision of a desirable society. In that alternative vision, there is built-in admission that the Enlightenment might have made some significant contributions to human civilization, but the utopic vision which the Enlightenment projects has little or nothing to say about the central problem humanity faces today. Massive, organized, structural, and, one might add, scienticized violence towards fellow humans, living nature, and future generations that are supposed to inherit the earth. That quasi-nihilistic violence which, in the 20th century, took a toll of roughly 225 million lives in only genocides, has 2 crucial components. First, the brutalization that in many societies have taken an epidemic form, and second, the cultivation of political terror without which one of the protagonists of the French Revolution, Maximilien Robespierre, believed virtue was helpless. Like many others, Suhrut rediscovered Gandhi after the emergency and the suspension of civil rights in India in the 1970s. That discovery is part of a larger movement that sees Gandhi as a serious thinker whose heritage can no longer be left at the mercy of 2 kinds of admirers who have played an important role in retailing Gandhi earlier. The first kind venerates him as a saint who must be shelved because it will be unfair to drag him into the dirty, violent, corrupt world of everyday politics. Talking of this, Gandhi, poet Umashankar Joshi once rather sharply reminded philosopher and thinker Ramchandra Gandhi at a seminar that saints in India were a dime a dozen. Gandhi was unique in that he was one saint who was willing to live in the slum of politics. Joshi added that he had borrowed his words from historian Arnold Toynbee, who, after the assassination of Gandhi, had said in an homage, "Henceforth, mankind will ask its prophets, are you willing to live in the slum of politics?" Second, there are those who see Gandhi as only a practical visionary whose political and social interventions were either from Indian traditions or ex nihilo, that is, from nowhere. Hence, these admirers consider any serious intellectual engagement with him either a waste of time or an attempt to mislead the present generation of Indians away from the real Gandhi. There is a touch of vulgarity in this stereotype of Gandhi, and it has become now a political ploy to say that Gandhi was all about doing, not thinking or researching. Such a stance has helped the likes of Vinayak Damodar Savarkar to claim that not only was Gandhi anti-science and superstitious, but ignorant of modern European political theory. My sporadic encounters with Gandhi over the last 50 years prompts me to propose that among the great freedom fighters and political and social reformers of 20th century India, Gandhi was arguably the best acquainted with the dissenting political thinkers and scholars of the West who tried to break radically with the Dionysian self of the European civilization. The three persons Gandhi called his intellectual gurus were all Western: Leo Tolstoy, Henry David Thoreau, John Ruskin, and perhaps we may now add Ralph Waldo Emerson as the fourth. And Gandhi was in excellent touch with movements that were fighting racism, colonialism, and for what we now might call feminism, human-scale technology, and environmental justice in other parts of the world. Not surprisingly, the Sri Lankan Gandhian T.K. Mahadevan, whose book Dvija was rediscovered during the emergency, claimed that Gandhi seriously took to the street only twice in his life. The rest of the time he was thinking and writing. Gandhi's 97-volume collected works endorses Mahadevan, not his critics. It is in this context that we must judge Tridip Suhrud's efforts to bring the power and the complexity of Gandhi's thought to this generation of Indian intellectuals. Probably Suhrud's first majestic effort along these lines was his much-acclaimed 4-volume English translation of Narayan Desai's massive 4-volume Gujarati biography of Gandhi, My Life is My Message, later to become the basis of Desai's moving series of storytelling. Gandhi Katha in riot-ravaged Gujarat in the first decade of this century. Desai took Gandhi Katha not only to small towns and villages of Gujarat, but to different parts of India and even to the United States, and was invited to take it to Bangladesh when death intervened. Suhrud's second major venture was the translation of Chandulal Bhagubhai Dalal's perhaps unintentionally moving biography of Harilal, Gandhi's prodigal eldest son. It was published as Harilal Gandhi, A Life, with a marvelous brief foreword by Ramchandra Gandhi, which in 2 pages provides a brilliant, refreshingly new perspective on the critical role Harilal unwittingly played in his father's life as both a seductive anti-self and an unacknowledged critical moral presence. This book and its suggestive foreword must be read by anyone trying to enter the inner life of Mohandas Gandhi. The predecessor of the present book was a joint venture of Suresh Sharma and Tridip Suhrud, an annotated critical edition of Hind Swaraj. It can be considered a companion volume to this, an annotated critical edition of Gandhi's autobiography. The reader will be able to read the autobiography not only as it stands in English, but also get some flavor of the Gujarati version and should be able to make a fair guess about the author's intentions, the translator's hesitations and ambivalences, and perhaps even about the total differences between the Gujarati and English versions. Suhrud is an excellent non-intrusive guide, but he also keeps more than enough space for you to draw your own conclusions and differ violently with his version of truth. Indeed, this foreword too differs at some point from Suhrud's more diffident reading of his own project, as reflected in his less-known book, Reading Gandhi in Two Tongues and Other Essays. On second thoughts, the present book is one that mediates between not merely Gandhi's time and ours, but also indirectly between Gandhi's global vision and an over-Indianized, venerated but de-radicalized Gandhi caught in a spider's net called Indian politics. New Delhi, 11 September 2017. Editor's Introduction. Tridip Suhrud. On 23rd November 1925, After 2 days of agony, M.K. Gandhi decided to go on a fast for 7 days. There was a moral lapse among the young boys and some girls at the Satyagraha ashram at Sabarmati. This fast was to commence on 24th November and last up to the 30th. On the day of the decision, Gandhi had a talk with the boys and girls of the ashram and had told them, rather ominously,
"Sample complete. Ready to continue?"